Welcome to Girl Talk. We've got a great session for you today. We are excited to have Jessa back from her trip in Europe. We also have a guest host this morning, Anne from Radiance Skin Design. So, Jessa, tell us all about Europe.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I'm super excited to be at Radiance again. Love it here, and thank you, Anne, for coming in and having us here. We love to be here. Yeah, Europe. Oh my gosh. It was such a fun trip. I was lucky enough to go with my mom and sister. We had a little girls trip, and it was like our last summer hurrah. You know, we got to go and travel, and I am kind of embarrassed to say actually that I've never been overseas. So it was my first time doing anything like that, and it was just breathtaking. We started in Europe. We went up to Scotland, we went to Northern Ireland, through Wales, and then back to Europe and left London, and it was just absolutely amazing, and definitely the trip of a lifetime, and I got to spend it with my family, which was really cool. Yeah. So I think the highlight for me was the Roman baths, because it was just, you know, you read about it in history. It's been a long time since I've even thought about it, but you read about it and you see it in books and all this stuff, but then going there and it's not, you know, you're thinking like you're going to be in a museum or something. Right. You're not. You are in the Roman baths, walking through where the Romans walked, and it is just so incredible. So it was lots of fun. I could probably talk all day about it. I'll shut up, but it was just a ton of fun.
No, Italy's on my top places I want to go. Yeah. I've been to Ireland, and that was amazing. And a lot of people say, you know, the southern part of Ireland, but we did the whole thing, and you have to see all of it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
So much to do. Yeah. So we're winding up summer. We're all doing our last little summer traveling. I know you went to Chicago recently. How was that?
Spur of the moment, Michigan Avenue, shopping, eating. Went to the Luke Bryan concert.
Oh, there
it was fabulous. Yeah.
Love shopping on Michigan Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
So much fun. Although the wish list, of course, is much longer than what you take home, hopefully.
Right. Don't go to Nordstrom's shoe area first, because then you're out of money.
Okay, good tip.
It's crazy the range of prices. I mean, because you can have like the $6,000 shirt, and then you know the $10 bargain skirt. So really, just gotta spend your time.
Shop smart. Spend the big bucks on the things you really want. You know, you got your splurge items, and then you get your couple little partners.
You got to pick out what to wear to Luke Bryan, and then after that, it doesn't matter.
There you go.
Nothing matters.
That's right. Nothing else matters. Well, we have a very exciting show today. I'm very excited about what we're going to talk about. I can't wait. I'm not going to give a spoiler what we're going to talk about with you later, Anne, but it is like just super cool stuff. So every woman out there is interested in learning about anti-aging, and I just can't wait for you to talk to us about this because it is very cool. I've done my homework on this one, and it's awesome.
And if she's looking for models to demonstrate,
there you go.
Help us.
Yeah, right. We're all volunteering.
We have volunteers.
Yes, we
That's
sure
right.
are.
Treatments after, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we have visiting physicians here, so that's going to be an important one for folks at home who maybe have themselves are having, you know, struggle to get out of the home to get care, or maybe a loved one that, you know, can't get out of the home to go see a doctor. There's a really wonderful option out there that I'm excited to chat about.
Or the boyfriends and husbands that just won't go to the doctor but complain about it every day.
There you go, yes. It takes all kinds, right?
We'll bring them to you.
And we have Orange Shoe Personal Fitness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Give us tips for sticking with it.
Yeah, and it gets tougher when it gets colder and kids go back to school and you get busier and bulkier clothes. You know,
And it's darker already. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
8 o'clock last night, I noticed it was dark. And I noticed the leaves were falling, so I'm not happy.
Well, thankfully, Lauren will be here to give us some pointers on keeping with our fitness regimen, which is important as we get busy. So, very excited for all that stuff.
Yeah. Got a big show, so stay tuned. Come right back with more Girl Talk.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. Guys, can you believe it? Summer is coming to an end. We're all so bummed out. Kids are back to school. It's starting to get colder already. And all of these things make us busier, and it makes it tougher for us to stick to our fitness goals. So thankfully, never fear, we have asked Lauren Burkle from Orange Shoe Personal Fitness back to help us out with some of these pointers. So talk to us, Lauren. You're the guru here in fitness. So we need your help as far as sticking to our fitness goals, really.
Well, obviously I'm going to say work with a fitness professional. They'll really be there to help you along the way. But in general, we want to think about setting SMART goals. So specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-oriented goals. We also want to make sure we write those goals down. And then in some way, if it's not a fitness professional or a personal trainer, have someone to be your accountability buddy. Accountability is big.
Yeah, definitely.
So SMART was the acronym.
Yep.
And S was for specific,
Yes.
and M was for measurable.
Measurable.
Okay,
Yeah.
talk about those a little more specifically.
So you want to, when you're thinking about that goal, let's define it with something very specific and measurable so we know exactly what you're working towards. So if it's a weight loss goal, how much are you looking to lose? If it's, I want to feel better, what does that really mean? How are you going to know when that happens?
That's really general. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So then we've got A for action oriented, T for timing, and let me see if I can spell.
A,
Realistic first,
yes.
and then time oriented.
Correct. And so all of those kind of meld together, and we talk about setting specific steps and making specific commitments to what we're doing. So that's our action piece. And then is it realistic? You know, if it's a huge goal, let's chop it down into some smaller parts so that we can check it off the list so that you're moving towards that. And then the time-oriented piece is setting a deadline. So it's one thing to say you want to do something, it's another thing to make the commitment to say, I'm going to do this by December 1st.
So I can't run a marathon by this weekend is what you're telling me?
Well, if
Since
you've been
I'm not
training
running
for
at
it,
all right
maybe. Yeah. So absolutely, setting those deadlines, and it really helps to create that action plan. So you want to set those commitments.
So you have things to check off a list and
Yep.
see progress
Absolutely.
that helps keep you motivated.
It's so important because if you're just saying you're going to do something, really getting it going doesn't happen until you make that final commitment.
We all have good intentions.
Yeah.
That's right. And Lauren mentioned at the beginning, you mentioned maybe writing it down is helpful. Why does that help us out?
Yeah, absolutely. Crazy research out there saying that just by writing the goal down, nothing else changes, but you write it down, you're going to be 42% more likely to achieve that goal. Which is, I mean, how hard is it to write that goal down?
How hard is
right?
that?
That's something we can all do. But I think really why that happens is because you're making the commitment and you're setting a clearly defined path and plan for that.
Right.
And then you're also making it public, so it's out there. It can't just be something in your head that you're thinking about.
Right.
And when you make something public, you also have some accountability too,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. And that was that
that
last
piece,
piece
yeah.
is having someone that is going to be there to support you and motivate you, whether it's a fitness professional or a significant other, a friend, whoever it is, just something that, use Facebook. That's a great way to say, hey, I'm going to do this, and pretty soon you're going to get a lot of support.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to have that.
So we know a lot about Orange Shoe Personal Fitness, the small training groups and everything. Is there anything else that we've got going on for fall?
Yeah, we always have our standard personal training and small group training, but we have some other really fun things that we have going on. An open house at our downtown studio coming up on September 18th, so come on by. We've got food, drinks, and lots of giveaways. We have run clubs. Those are free for you to come and work out with us every Wednesday and every Saturday throughout September, partnered with some other great fitness retailers. We have a prenatal fitness series coming up. We have Happy Hips, a hip opening yoga workshop. So all kinds of things that are just give our clients and anyone out there a little opportunity to work with us in some different ways.
And you don't need these sweet orange kicks to do it.
No, orange shoes are not required.
Well, Lauren, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some pointers. Go check out Lauren at Orange Shoe Personal Fitness. They do have 3 locations. And we've got more for you after the break. If you or a loved one is struggling to get out of the home and needs a physician, we're going to talk to visiting physicians coming up. So stick around for more Girl Talk.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming at Radiance Skin Therapy and Laser Center off of Todd Drive, and we'll be talking with the owner just a little bit later about some secrets to help us stay looking younger. But first, we have Jasmine Velasic from an organization I've never heard of. It's Visiting Physicians Association, where the doctors come to your house. Welcome, Jasmine. Thanks for coming in and talking
Thank you.
to us.
Thanks for having me.
So, like I said, this is new for me, a service that brings the doctor to your home.
Correct.
Who's eligible for that kind of service?
The eligibility for the people who we see are basically people who have difficulty getting to the doctor's office. So we have quite a big age range that we do work with, but primarily 80% I would say are probably eligible when they're past the age of 65, 70, the frail elderly, people who have mental or physical disabilities that literally just prevent them from getting out of their home.
I see. Interesting. That's fascinating. So it sounds like it's mostly the field of geriatrics and then folks with, you said, disabilities sometimes too.
Correct. So age differences can be a little bit younger depending on what's going on with them physically.
Very cool. So what hours are they available?
We are similar to a regular brick and mortar building physician's practice where we do come in Monday through Friday. So our hours are usually 8:30 to 4:30, but then we do have an on-call service after hours. So if someone does need some emergency, either conversations, some extrovert help with getting them to the doctors, or we need to come to them the next day, or do they need to go to the emergency room?
It's
and use the
fabulous.
system?
You know, I really think that is so helpful, and a lot of people probably don't know about it. So it's good it's getting some exposure.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It is.
Yeah.
It's fairly new to this area, but actually we've been doing house call services now for 20 years with the organization I'm with.
I saw that on your website, the 20 years, and I thought, how have I not heard of this? And you have locations in Madison and Milwaukee right now,
Correct. Yes, we do. Yep.
And this is such a neat thing. You and I talked the other day about it, and I actually got to learn quite a bit and learned a lot speaking with you. And what an important service for people who are struggling to get out of the home and need care, probably, you know, maybe even more so than some others. My question is, what about an emergency? Is that something that you guys deal with?
We do. So literally we are there Monday through Friday, so we are seeing them for their basic needs. But after hours, if there is an emergency, they can certainly call us. We will refer people to the 911 system if it's something that obviously we can't get our doctors out to them.
Okay.
But the next day, if they have something that we can come and see, we'll see them within 24 to 48 hours after that phone
Wow,
call.
that's really nice. That's nice that you do that. Yeah, very good.
And is there an out-of-pocket cost, or how does that work with insurance?
Usually not. Insurance pays for the service just like if you're going to a doctor's office, so whatever your primary insurance is will cover most of our services. And if you have a supplementary insurance or a secondary, then that picks up the other portion.
Well, that's fabulous.
It is. It's
Yeah.
a good service, and it does work. We've been doing it for about a year and a half now. We're servicing probably 300 patients currently.
Wow, okay. So are there any other services offered besides doctoral care?
Yes, actually we do. So our doctor travels with a medical assistant. That medical assistant can take blood pressure, pulse. They can do your oximetry to make sure your oxygen levels are good. And then we can also draw labs. We can have x-rays come out to them. So we have a
X-rays.
mobile van
X-rays.
that comes out.
Isn't that
X-rays.
interesting?
We actually have this van that comes out and the x-ray machine comes right into your home.
And I saw on your website also ultrasounds you can do.
Correct. Some ultrasounds we can do as well.
Okay.
When you come into the bigger equipments, then you need to certainly go into a facility that can offer those services.
Right.
But, yeah.
Healthcare on the go, on the
Right.
move.
On the move,
That's
exactly.
good.
Ultrasound will travel.
Pretty much. And
Absolutely.
doctors, yes.
Really, it sounds all good to be too good to be true. I mean, it's really amazing that you're able to offer all these services at such an affordable cost.
Correct.
You know,
And that's what we hear a lot, is it's too good to be true. People are not sure, how do we offer the service? But again, with insurance companies, what we're trying to do is prevent those rehospitalizations. So for insurance companies, this is actually a time saver, it's a money saver. The premiums don't go up because you're able to bring that service into people and they're not using their insurance for emergency room visits.
Well, and really for folks that are sick, I mean, there's so much stress in having to get up, and you know, if they're already not feeling well, they don't want to have to go out and go somewhere. So
Correct.
that maybe will help them get the help that they need if they know it can come to them.
Absolutely. And you're talking about wintertime, that's coming up. People have a tough time traveling. Transportation costs are really kind of huge too.
Yeah.
And just getting a family member to take a half a day off to get you to the doctors
Right.
Right.
can be an issue and a concern.
So it could be a way for a new primary care or maybe just a temporary situation too.
Correct.
Well, check out Visiting Physicians Association, VPA. We'll be right back with Ann Hill from Radiance Skin Therapy. Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming at Radiance Skin Therapy and Laser Center off of Todd Drive. And we have the owner with us, Ann Hill. Thanks, Ann, for having us here. Beautiful location.
Thank you.
But even more exciting is what we're going to be talking about. Anti-aging. Now, we don't really like to talk or think about aging, but it's there.
It happens.
Sneaks up on us.
Sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
It does.
Where did that line come from?
That happens to other people, not to me. I know I do my best to eat well and use sunscreen, but you have a special technique called broadband light therapy. BBL is what you refer to it as. Tell us about that and what it can do.
Sure. BBL is a therapy that we've had at Radiance for over 8 years. And it is a light-based therapy. And the light creates heat in the skin, and the heat and the light target abnormalities on the surface of the skin. And in a week or two, you notice those abnormalities going away.
That is absolutely fascinating.
I have a few of those.
Yeah, I mean, we all do, and of course, we're our own worst critics in the mirror, nitpicking every abnormality.
That's right.
So, but we all have different things that bother us. So, what kinds of issues does BBL address?
Yeah, some of the common issues, or the issues it addresses best, are pigmentation spots. So whether we call them sunspot, age spots, whatever you want to call them. And it also is very attracted to any vascularities. So some of us darker skinned people like me, I get age spots or sunspots, and some of our lighter complected people can get more of those vascularities. Whatever that is, it's a sign of aging. And we also see maybe larger pores, we see fine lines and things like that. So those are really the outward signs of aging that broadband light can address.
Awesome. Lots of things.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
Yeah.
Whatever your concern, basically.
Right.
It will help.
Yep, and it also, the modality also does hair removal.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, that's an
Covers
interesting.
all of it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
That's an interesting side benefit. So,
Right,
yeah,
yep,
very-
absolutely. It just is attracted to anything dark that it sees in the skin. And so we have different filters that go in, and if it's hair, we put in a filter that attracts more to the hair or the depth of the hair. If it's pigment or vascularities, there's different filters that we plug in for those, yeah.
This is amazing technology and really, really exciting stuff for folks who have concerns, which we all do.
Right, yep.
Well, in reading your pamphlet, I saw, the term forever young. Can you expand on that? Tell me how you're going to make me look forever young.
It says right there.
Forever young. Well, that's the great part of this. Like I said, we've been doing this treatment for many years, and little did we know what this actually can be doing inside the skin. Stanford University just did a study, and it was over 15 years, and they took a group of people, and the only thing that they did for their skin was broadband light. And they did it every year. They did 3 treatments every year. And what they found when they came back to do biopsies and actually look at the skin is that they didn't age. And the skin actually reversed. So even though they've aged 15 years, the skin actually could have probably looked about 15 years younger. So they have found that this can kind of halt or really, really significantly slow down the aging process.
That's outstanding information. So you're aging, but these folks were starting really to look younger just
Right.
from a few treatments a year.
Yep.
And that is phenomenal to me because when we first started talking about this, I thought maybe you got to come every day or, you can get results. So how many treatments do you really recommend for people?
Yeah, and that can vary. As we know, probably looking at all of us, we all have different severities of our abnormalities on our skin. So in a general sense, we will put somebody through a series of 3 to start off with. And that's just because we can't possibly correct everything in one treatment. So a series of 3 is really common to see. And then, sometimes if people are in good shape, maybe we don't do all 3 of those every year. Maybe we do a couple for them. But the study was based on 3. So, if that's something that kind of fits in the budget, it's a fabulous thing to do.
Yeah, and women really, I know myself, even this is something you will save for, because how outstanding if somebody told you that there was something that could literally turn back the hands of time.
Right.
You try and make it work. Gosh.
Right.
So that's awesome.
Exactly right. Yeah,
So we have a lot of questions. First, like, how do we get to be part of that study?
Right. Exactly. Well, we're not Stanford here, but anyway, you can be a part of your own study, and at Radiance we always take photos. So whenever we want to look back at those photos, let's say you did it for 2 years and you say, how is my skin comparing? And those are our studies at Radiance. So not quite Stanford's, but Radiance studies.
So if someone comes in and does this treatment, is there downtime? Can they go right to work? What does it look like?
Sure. There is really, we say there's no downtime, because immediately after the treatment, you can put on makeup and you can go about your business. Of course, we don't want you in any direct sunlight right away, but it's really not, you're going to know you had something, but most people wouldn't know. Pigment gets darker for about a week's time before it starts looking better. Vascularities just continue to improve. The texture of the skin continues to improve. Lines and wrinkles continue to improve. So it's really a no downtime procedure.
Sounds way too good to be true.
I know.
So what's the cost involved?
Sure. It's $300 per treatment, but for those series of treatments, we have significant discount, so it's around $700 for 3 treatments.
Wow, you would think it was. I'm shocked that actually that's it. That's
to look
really
15 years younger, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like, think about how much you spend on creams and all of that,
Right.
Well, that's
hoping and
outstanding.
wondering if they're going to work.
That's
Right.
awesome, Anne.
Right.
Thank you so much
You're
for joining
welcome.
us. We greatly appreciate being here, and you're the expert of skincare. Thank you so much. We just want to know how to look like you, so you just keep telling us what to do. Thank you, Anne. Come check them out right here at Radiance, and thank you so much for watching. Catch us next time on Girl Talk.